me ask you this. Tommy Lloyd, he has obviously been wildly successful as a coach. I mean, all of the numbers and all of the metrics indicate it, but obviously has fallen a little bit short in the postseason. What's his next step in his maturation as a coach? Because I think people need to remember too that he's still only been a head coach for 3 years. What's his next step?
Accountability, right?
Yeah.
Learning.
You know what I think it is? I think it's not just accountability. I think the next thing is when telling a player that when they are not doing something that necessarily benefits the team on the court, make them change that. We'll give Caleb Love, for example. I like Caleb Love a great deal. I think Caleb Love was fantastic for Arizona, but it did feel like Caleb Love left a lot of points on the board by not getting to the hoop more. That to me is something where I get that Tommy wants to let his guys play and all of that, but I do think that when a player isn't doing what really is necessarily best for them or the team, I do believe that he's got to do something about that. That to me is also part of it.
I think Tommy's one of the nicest people I've ever met. Yes. And usually that's a compliment, but in a way a part of you's like he's the only college coach that I've heard recently go and be like, I really care about relationships. They're important to me. And that's one of the reasons why Henry is staying. Tommy believes in him. And Umar, he said, I brought Umar from Gonzaga because I felt it was my responsibility. Brought him over to America, couldn't give up on him. There's a part of that that's now it's stopped a little bit. He didn't feel that with Philly B. He didn't feel that with Morauskas. But there's guys that he has a connection to. But at the end of the day, there has to come a time where you kind of stop, right? Or you kind of you say, hey, look, I love you, man, but,
Well, it's like the gambling thing. Let's be honest. In a vacuum, nobody really cares about playing blackjack. We all do dumb things. But the fact that he went there and there was no repercussions as far as playing time, then you need to be benched. It's okay to have some tough love. But again, he's obviously really good. And I don't need Tommy Lloyd to be swearing at players. I don't care about any of that. That means really nothing to me. But I think Shelby put it really well when she said, what did the lovely Shelby Shear say about it? That there needs to be, I can't remember what the exact term was.
I don't remember.
Oh, there needs to be a healthy respect or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Or again, you can't just do whatever you want. It's okay to get on players. It's okay. It doesn't need to be an awkward moment. And, I think you could probably be better for the wear. I think if they had some more talks with certain players, they might have been a little bit better for it. But I also think, too, that in the Clemson game, that Clemson was daring you to shoot threes. And Jaden Bradley was the only one that wasn't taking them up on that offer. That's what I think. That's another thing where, all right, guys, this isn't working. We got to try something else. Again, I'm not saying he doesn't make adjustments, but I also think that it's something on the fly when you're dealing with premier players. It's okay to tell them what they were good at. And again, like with the Caleb Love, when Arizona got back into the game, he was attacking the hoop.
Yeah. I mean, but that was the recipe all season, right? Teams would pack it in and say, we can't guard you man to man. Brad Burnell said, we can't guard you man to man. We cannot do it. You will foul our whole team out. We're going to go to zone and we're going to sit in it. And if you beat us shooting threes, so be it. And it didn't happen. Look, if Arizona makes 3 more threes, they win the ballgame. If they shoot their averages, they win the ballgame. But that's how basketball works. They didn't shoot their averages and they lost. And there were games where it did not work. Oregon tried it, and not in the Pac-12 tournament, they changed their defense. But before that, at Oregon and at McHale, they dropped back and Arizona hit jumpers and Caleb killed them.
Right.
So sometimes it works.
But you also have to be able to go with the game, though, and the game flow. Like I said, I like Caleb Love a lot, but guess what? Caleb Love could have shot 20 more threes, and none of those shots were going in. Just because a team is begging you to shoot threes doesn't mean you necessarily have to. Jaden Bradley says hello.
Yeah, I do not disagree. I think that part of it, though, is Tommy's offense and what makes him a good offensive coach and why people come to Arizona. And Pella kind of gave it away after the Long Beach State game when he said to me, Tommy gets mad every time we pass up any type of open shot. That in the Long Beach State game at halftime, Tommy was mad because he felt that they were giving up threes and trying too hard to get cleaner looks that weren't there.
Well, they'd get guys that are really good 3-point shooters then. That are actually really good 3-point shooters.
Yeah, that's fair.